Hey Leap Inspire family, what would you do if the one person you trusted most was hiding a secret that could destroy everything? In the heart of a sprawling mansion, Julian sat with her hands clasped tightly, her face etched with worry as whispers from the maids echoed in the quiet halls. They stood at a distance, their hushed voices speculating about their madam's distress. But Julian had no time for their gossip. Her daughter, Sophia, had been acting strange ever since that interview with the reporters, and her husband, Salvador, was no better. His secretive behavior gnawed at her instincts. She could punish the maids for their chatter, but what if she fired them in anger and regretted it later? No, she needed to focus. Sophia would be home soon, and Julian was determined to get answers. The low hum of a car engine broke her thoughts, and her heart quickened. It had to be Sophia. Rising from her seat, Julian faced the entrance as the sharp click of heels announced her daughter's arrival. "Where have you been?" Julian demanded, her voice sharp but trembling. "Ever since that interview, you've been dodging me. Where are you hiding, Sophia?" Her daughter froze, lips parting in surprise, before brushing past to the living room. "Mother, is that how you welcome me home?" Sophia's tone was defensive, her eyes darting away. "There's nothing suspicious going on. I'm fine." But Julian wasn't convinced. "You sounded so sure in that interview," pointing fingers at Mr. Shea's brother. "How do you know he's behind it?" Before Sophia could respond, a deeper voice cut through the room. "You think you're so clever, don't you?" Salvador's words dripped with venom as he stepped in, startling the eavesdropping maids, who scattered like frightened birds. Julian's heart sank. Her husband knew something, and he'd been lying to her all along. Sophia's defiance flared as she dropped her bag onto a stool. "I only did what you should have done ages ago," she shot back, her voice steady despite the tension. "You should be thanking me." The room seemed to hold its breath until Salvador's hand flew, striking Sophia's cheek with a resounding slap. Julian gasped, her eyes squeezing shut as if she could block out the moment. "Are you out of your mind?" she cried, stepping between them. "She's your daughter, Salvador. How could you?" Sophia, clutching her reddened cheek, smirked despite the pain. "Hitting me won't change anything, Mr. Liam." Julian's breath caught. "What did you just call him?" she stammered, her mind reeling. Sophia's eyes gleamed with defiance. "Oh, you didn't know? That's his real name. He changed it to Salvador." Salvador's face darkened as he lunged forward, but Julian blocked his path. "You went through my things," he roared. Sophia didn't flinch. "How else do you think I got Mr. Antonio to the police? I used the secrets you've been hiding for your precious revenge." Julian's world tilted. Tears streamed down her face as she turned to her daughter. "You knew? All this time? And you said nothing?" She wanted to blame Sophia, but deep down, she knew Salvador's indulgence had shaped her daughter's recklessness. Sophia's voice softened but held firm. "I overheard you arguing with him that day. Father's been plotting revenge with the late Mr. Cho, hasn't he?" Julian's gaze snapped to her husband. "Enough, Salvador. What is going on? Why are you doing this?" Salvador's eyes narrowed. "You don't get to question me. And you," he pointed at Sophia, "get those documents back to my study by tomorrow, or you'll regret it." Sophia shrugged, unfazed. "I have copies. I'll return them. But whatever I told the reporters, you'll both have to deal with the fallout." With that, she gently guided her weeping mother upstairs, leaving Salvador seething in the silence. Across town, Mr. Shea arrived home, his mind buzzing with relief and unease. The Director General had assured him his brother, Antonio, would be released tomorrow once the final papers were signed. Yet, a nagging fear lingered. What if Antonio fled again, not to Egypt like last time, but somewhere new to start another empire? Pushing the thought aside, Mr. Shea entered his study, dropping his briefcase on the desk. A small note caught his eye, its bold words reading, "I'm sorry for how I acted today. Please forgive me." He smiled softly, surprised by the apology, likely from his wife, Margaret, who rarely expressed herself so directly. Tucking the note into his pocket, he climbed the stairs, only to pause when he thought he glimpsed his son, Xavier. "Father, you're back." Brian's voice broke his trance, and Mr. Shea turned to see his younger son on the stairs. "How was your meeting with the director? Did you convince them?" Brian asked eagerly. "Yes," Mr. Shea replied, still distracted. "I thought I saw Xavier pass by." Brian laughed. "He woke up a few hours ago, starving. The girls were playing in his room and disturbed him. Mother called the doctor, who said the bond between parents and children is strong. That's why he woke up." Mr. Shea shook his head, marveling at the mystery of his children. But before he could respond, his phone rang. "It's the doctor," he said, stepping away to answer. "Mr. Shea, you need to come now. We have a problem." Without another word, he rushed to the parking lot, leaving Brian staring after him, confused but resigned. At the hospital, the doctor greeted Mr. Shea with a grim expression, sweat beading on his forehead. "Her conditions worsened," he said, leading him to a patient's bed. Mr. Shea's heart clenched as he saw his daughter, her hands and legs swollen, her breathing uneven. "Does she need surgery now?" he asked, his voice breaking. The doctor hesitated. "I can't operate alone in this condition, not without more staff. I promised to try, but it's riskier now." Mr. Shea's desperation surged. "You can't let her die. She's my only daughter. Please do something." The doctor nodded, scribbling a list of needed supplies and medications. "Get these by noon tomorrow, and I'll reach out to colleagues for help. I can't guarantee they'll assist, but I'll try." Mr. Shea took the list, his resolve hardening. "She'll have them. Just make sure she holds on." The doctor injected a stabilizer to sustain her for 3 days, and Mr. Shea left, his mind racing with the weight of saving his daughter. Meanwhile, at Salvador's mansion, the tension hadn't eased. Julian stood by the window, her thoughts a storm of betrayal and fear. Sophia's revelation about Salvador, Liam, had shattered her trust. She overheard him speaking with Lorenzo, a man whose name sent chills down her spine. "Your daughter's with the police," Lorenzo said coldly. "Use the information I gave you to get her out. Rich men like you always find a way." Julian's heart sank. Sophia had submitted evidence to the police, evidence Salvador thought he could control. As he left to deal with the situation, Julian confronted him. "You heard Lorenzo. Bring our daughter back today," she demanded, her voice trembling with unshed tears. Salvador didn't respond, his silence a confirmation of his guilt. Julian turned away, her mind made up. She couldn't stay in a house built on lies. Across the city, Charlotte, trapped in Lorenzo's world, plotted her escape. For days, she'd been forced to perform at his bar, wearing the same tired outfits. Today, she saw her chance. She approached a maid, her voice low. "I need a pen and paper. It's for a shopping list. Don't tell anyone." The maid hesitated but complied, returning with the items. Charlotte scribbled a note, hiding it beneath her bra, and slipped on a hoodie. Downstairs, she found Lorenzo and Salvador arguing. Seizing the moment, she interrupted with a jab. "You must be proud to work with him, Salvador. No wonder your daughter's so bold." Salvador's face reddened, but Lorenzo stopped him from striking her. "She's an asset," Lorenzo snapped. "Don't touch her." Charlotte pressed her advantage. "I need to shop for new outfits. I can't keep performing in these rags." Lorenzo laughed mockingly, but relented, handing her a card and assigning a towering guard to watch her. "Don't try anything clever," he warned. Charlotte winked defiantly and strode out, her heart pounding with the weight of her plan. At the boutique, Charlotte moved quickly, selecting outfits while scanning for an ally. The attendant, a sharp-eyed woman, greeted her warmly. As Charlotte handed over her chosen clothes, she slipped the note into the woman's palm with a subtle wink. The attendant's eyes flickered with understanding, and she played along, packing the items without a word. The guard, oblivious, paid with Lorenzo's card, grumbling about Charlotte's attitude. As they left, Charlotte's heart raced. She'd done it. The note, a plea for help, was her ticket to freedom. Unbeknownst to her, Xavier and Alex had been watching from a distance, tracking the guard's car. "That's her," Xavier whispered, his voice thick with longing. Alex held him back. "We can't cause a scene. She's alive and healthy. That's what matters. We'll get her soon." Inside the boutique, the attendant read the note, her hands trembling. "Help me. I'm being held by Lorenzo." Give this to Xavier Shea. Moments later, Xavier and Alex entered, and the attendant, recognizing him, handed over the note. Xavier's eyes widened. She's planning to escape tomorrow night. We have to stop her. It's too dangerous. Alex nodded. We'll find a way, but we can't rush in blindly. Back at the school, the Shea girls huddled in the computer room, their uncle's laptop glowing with secrets. They'd seen a tinted G-Wagon earlier, and now, a name on the screen caught their attention. Lorenzo. I heard Daddy and Uncle Brian talking about him last night, Zara whispered. Something about a bar and human trafficking. The girls exchanged glances, their young minds piecing together the puzzle. What if he's the one who took Mommy? Hilda asked. Before they could dig deeper, their uncle stormed in, slamming the laptop shut. What are you doing touching my things? He bellowed, his anger startling them. The girls apologized, but his reaction fell off, too intense for a simple mistake. As they left, disappointed, their uncle scribbled down the G-Wagon's plate number, his own investigation into Lorenzo deepening. The girls, undeterred, decided to use their mother's laptop at home to uncover the truth, determined to save her. As night fell, Xavier received a call from his mother. Your aunt's at the airport, demanding to see Antonio at the station. Xavier sighed, redirecting his focus. At the station, he learned Antonio had been released, and Sophia's arrest complicated matters further. He promised to help, but knew his priority was Charlotte. Meanwhile, Salvador faced a choice. Use Lorenzo's information to free Sophia or risk her spending the night in custody. Across town, Charlotte prepared for her escape, unaware that Xavier was closing in. The web of secrets, revenge, and loyalty tightened around them all, with every move threatening to unravel their world. Will Xavier save Charlotte before it's too late? Can Sophia outsmart her father's enemies? Subscribe now to find out what happens next in this gripping saga.